go.
Okay, so let me go ahead and tell you about two candidates. Candidate A, candidate B. You let me know which one you prefer. Are you ready? So candidate A is from humble origins, born in a farmhouse, son of a Baptist preacher. Okay. He supported himself through school by picking fruit. He served as a teacher after graduating from college. After winning a congressional seat in a special election, he worked on a committee to benefit the military, as well as policies to bring electric power to rural areas. While in Congress, he served in the military, winning a Silver Star and was promoted, investigating corruption during the war effort. After winning a Senate seat, candidate A was praised by many for his highly effective leadership style. And when duty called, he rallied Americans in the time of crisis. Under his leadership, major reforms were passed, allowing U.S. citizens greater access to the ballot box. Major reforms were undertaken in healthcare, immigration, education, and equality for all. He made a historic Supreme Court appointment. He vigorously opposed America's enemies abroad, often with force, though he also endeavored to bring peace to war-torn regions. He even deployed troops to a besieged country to bring democracy to the place, which has lasted ever since. That's candidate A. Candidate B got involved in politics as soon as he could, running from office in school, and did his best from a young age to align himself and learn from the politically powerful. Ever ambitious, he won a race for the U.S. Senate marked by massive fraud, often aligning himself with opponents of a variety of reforms, using every trick in the book to bully opponents into supporting his legislation. He used the power of his office to intimidate and spy on political opponents. He used deceit to launch a war that failed, and even dispatched troops to invade a small country. Under his leadership, there were riots and doubts about whether he should ever serve in leadership again. So, which one do you prefer, candidate A or candidate B? Okay. All right, y'all want to do secret ballot? Up there. Got a preference? One way or the other? Okay. All right, so do you want to know who the candidates are? Okay. Candidate A is Lyndon Baines Johnson. So is candidate B. I just thought I'd mention that. Because what it shows is you can take the same person and find a very positive slant and spin on what they did, and you can do the same for candidate B. I attribute this to ESPN Focus on Fantasy Football. They did the same thing when they were evaluating Jeremy Hill. They talked about two running backs and they said, which running back should you take? And they listed all the positives and the stats and other things, and the other focused on all the negatives, but it was the same guy. You just didn't realize at the end of the assessment. I have to credit them for that. I thought, oh, before the election, I got to get to do that. Okay, so what we've got today to work on is elections. So that way we'll get through that on Wednesday and Friday. Friday, make sure you're here so we can start talking about the research project. Are you all interested in doing the congressional moderate study to pull it forward again, 1980s, 1990s? Seemed pretty simple, straightforward. Are you all cool with that, or are you looking at doing something else? What's y'all's preference, candidate A or candidate B? Because I've got some other ideas, but one of them has to do with scams, like scams on the elderly, but also scams on younger people. And what we research is what are states doing about those. And that's idea B. So we got A is the congressional moderates. That one is idea B. Idea C is there was a police shooting up in Wisconsin, and the police department, or the city where the police department was employed, settled with the father of the person who was shot by police and killed, and the guy used that money to rally to pass a law saying that all police shootings have to be investigated by state officials, not by the police department in-house. And so we're going to take a look at which other states do that, whether such a law would work or not. Do I have Do y'all have any preferences, one way or the other?
I like that.
All right. I'll send out an email, and whichever one gets the most votes, by Friday, we'll start that. Sound good? Okay. Y'all seem very quiet, dispirited. Did I throw you off by having all those kids there? Honestly, I didn't know they were going to be there. I got an email 3 minutes before I was starting up my class, immediately before it, saying that there were going to be kids there, and there was like no time to send an email. So, otherwise, I would have warned you. But they all seem to enjoy it. I got some positive feedback from students. I got some from other college students who were there too. They seem to like that. Okay. It's a bit unusual, by the way, this kind of setup. That's not taking up mine. It's not doing the flash drive. Which is too bad because I've got data to show you all. This is a visual class today. I worked last time. Now, how many of y'all know how the Electoral College works? Or is that why we're here? Figure out if it does. Y'all have laptops where it doesn't allow you to have discs? There we go. That's like, I heard something about Apple's not going to have something that allows you to read like DVDs or Blu-rays. Fans of Apple are not very happy. They're like, well, most people stream stuff. Not everybody does. All right, let's see if we can get this up. There we go. That'll be Wednesday and Friday, it will be elections. Next week, Monday and Wednesday, will be political parties, unless we're in martial law the day after the election. That's a joke. We won't be under martial law until, like, I don't know, January 25th at the earliest. Just joking.
We'll be fine.
What?
We'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll be. Hopefully. Well, always gotta keep an eye on things.
Definitely can.
Their Border Patrol that played I've been watching that on Netflix. I don't think I could get it through.
Okay, how many of y'all are able to access the slides? Because I can just go off the slides. It's not going to be much of a visual. Can y'all do that? Do you have access to it on your devices? Okay, if not, those who got it on PowerPoint, if y'all can team up. If you don't have it on PowerPoint, if y'all can kind of sit together. And we'll look at how elections are organized. This. I know that they're working on fixing the computers. See if we can get this read. Okay. Now, I was just joking about martial law, but that's like that's a way to lead into the elitist interpretation of elections, because elitists will say that we don't have democratic elections. Now, we don't necessarily have martial law declared. We don't have, like, troops going out controlling us like totalitarian states. But elitist theory would say that we actually don't have free and fair elections. And so therefore we don't have necessarily a democratic society. In order to have a free and fair election, you have to have parties that offer clear policy alternatives. Most elitists say that's not the case. Voters, when they vote, they have to vote based on the issues. They have to vote on the policies they want, not on any other factor. Not based on party loyalty, not based on ethnic identity, gender, anything else. And whatever the issues are, that's where the election goes, the key issues. These are all the factors that make a democratic election, as opposed to an undemocratic election. Because most countries have elections. Even communist societies, even Nazis held elections. Almost everybody holds. The only ones who don't hold elections are like monarchies. So like Morocco and Saudi Arabia and a couple Emirates. Even some of the Emirates have like low-level elections. Go ahead.
Which one are we looking at?
Elections, American government. And not only that, once somebody's elected, they got to follow through on what they promised. They said, these are what we're going to do when we get in office, these are the issues, they got to follow through. For elites, the answer to all of those is no. The argument being that people vote based on candidate looks, likability. People don't know much about the issues. This is what elite theory tells us. That elected officials do what they want. Why bother listening to the people since they don't know what the issues are? I mean, there's nothing that you can learn from the people. Just do what you were going to do anyway. Not only that, if you swing over to the second slide, you'll get to see that a lot of what drives elections is, what you got? What drives elections on page 2? Oh, that one about Gore fire breathing, I think it comes with it. I don't even know, you can find that on the internet, sometimes you just got to screen cap something. Go with it. So, what drives elections? How do we determine who wins? Slide, well, I guess it would be slide 3, because slide 1 has questions. What do we got for slide 2? What does that show? Are y'all following me? Can y'all see it?
Money?
Yeah, money. See, it wasn't that hard. Yeah, just sing it out if you know it. Yep. And where does money, who does money tend to support in elections? Which group has the largest amount on the pie chart?
Income.
Yes, definitely. If you're elected to office, it's kind of like a game of basketball. Do y'all ever play this game? We would always play, like normally in a basketball game, like who's got the possession of the ball? Right? Who wins the possession of the ball?
The better team.
Well, whoever wins the tip-off, right? At the beginning of the game.
So you just
Two people, they throw the ball in the air, knock it along. Go ahead and have a seat next to somebody with a laptop or cell phone if you can pull it up on there. Yeah, I can do it now, so I have to go this way. Right? And then somebody makes a basket, then who gets the ball after a basket's made?
The other team?
The other team, right? The team that didn't make the basket. But in politics, it doesn't work that way. It works like the basketball game I used to play when I was a kid. It was called Make It, Take It. You all ever played that game?
Yeah.
It's like half-court basketball, and some team makes it, and they're like,
the score get the ball back.
yeah, the team who gave up the goal to go to get the ball, and the other kids who just made it go, oh no, make it, take it. That's what elections are like when it comes to fundraising. You get the money, you get the office, you are more likely to get more money. So politics, according to elite theory, is a lot like make it, take it. As you can see, now the other graph is, the one that's darkly shaded is challengers. Those are people trying to beat the incumbent. And they only get a smaller percentage, right? Are y'all following this? And then what's the other category? Lightly shaded, light gray.
Open seat?
Yeah. What's an open seat? Y'all know how that works?
Was that in Westmoreland? He just retires? That's
Yeah.
what-
So like Georgia 3rd Congressional District is an open seat. Somebody retires, somebody's defeated in a primary. You got 2 brand new people running. There is no incumbent. Those are people for an open seat. There usually aren't that many open seats. Most people don't realize. Anybody know how many members of the House are there?
I think like 41 or something like that.
Number of people in the House. Like how many House seats are there?
500 something?
Oh yeah, 503.
438. And then that's what I call it, 538 electoral votes. It's another 100 for the Senate. So there are 438 in the House, 100 in the Senate. Of those 438 House races, usually about 30 or 40 are competitive. 30 or 40 are races where either party can win. Remember we talked about gerrymandering? That's how it goes. A lot of it is due to fundraising. Incumbents have a huge, huge advantage in fundraising. They even get it in endorsements. Anybody here in the NRA? The National Restaurateurs Association? No, I'm kidding. It is a real group. I actually applied to, I applied for a job at the National Restaurateurs Association. They call themselves the other NRA. No, I'm dead serious. Well, there's the NRA. Actually, one of our students lives pretty close to there. She teaches at George Mason. It's in Fairfax, Virginia. That's the National Rifle Association. Get this. National Rifle Association, if you've got a conservative Democrat and a conservative Republican, and they're all the same on the gun issues, I'm dead serious. The person who's in office gets the NRA endorsement. It's not just the NRA who does this. A lot of interest groups. They endorse, even if the policies are exactly the same, challenger and incumbent, they always pick the incumbent. Again, now this is like make it, take it, isn't it? I don't even have that on the graph, although I should have that on the end. That's a huge advantage. So like Harrison, let's say you're running against a conservative Democrat down in Columbus, and you have like an A+ rating with the NRA. If your opponent has an A+ rating, they will endorse your opponent. Even if you're a Republican and the opponent's a Democrat. That's the policy of almost every interest group. The question is why? Why would they pick an incumbent, regardless of party? Why not pick a challenger? You'd think tie would go to, it could be a tie, but tie goes to the incumbent. Don't they do that? You ever see this, like tie in baseball? Anybody watch last night's game, Cubs and Indians? They had a Cubs pitcher and an Indians batter. They were both running to first base and they arrive almost simultaneously. What do they call it?
Well, they replayed it, found it was out.
Yeah. But almost always, like if it's a bang-bang play, if they arrive simultaneously, most umpires will give it to the defense, first base. You got to be a half step ahead. Your shoelace has got to be like really long, like my son's. His shoelace is almost always untied. Like that shoelace better be dangling down and touching before the cleat. Yeah. So for most interest groups, tie goes to the incumbent, and that also means a lot of fundraising dollars. I had an Alabama congressman who explained that to students. He was a conservative Democrat. He explained he always got the NRA endorsement no matter how conservative his opponent was. Why? Why would they give the benefit of the doubt to the incumbent?
Have a verified record.
Yeah, you can actually do something rather than just say something. You've often voted this way, whereas the other person's just saying what they're going to do. Huge advantage to incumbents. That's why it's rare for incumbents to lose. I think it was 2010 election, one of the worst years ever for incumbents, especially Democrats. Huge, massive sweep. And I wrote a column. Oh, did I get people mad about this? I said, guess what? 85% of politicians were reelected. They were like, no, there wasn't. There was blood on the wall. There was like, yeah, about 40 or so people lost. I don't know, it's like 35, 40 incumbents. Sometimes the sweep went because there were open seats. But yeah, I'd say there was like somewhere about 30 to 40 politicians lost. About 80, 85%. That's one of the worst years ever for incumbents. Keep that in mind. One of the worst elections in history for incumbents. And about 80, 85% won. You're like, you're wrong! I just do math. It's not that hard. 40 divided by 538. It's not rocket science, but all the headlines said, yeah, headlines can say a lot of things. I agree, but yeah. Most times incumbents win. That was a lot of incumbents. Get this, when I was a sophomore, 1990, 98.5% of incumbents were reelected. Even though a majority of people said, vote out the incumbent, change Congress. And they changed 1.5% of Congress. Woo! I mean, you know, you don't have to agree with me or not. I mean, that's just what the numbers are. Now, let's see how the Electoral College works. Can y'all pull up slide 4? Can y'all see that? That's the one with the green backing. Trust me, I missed my computer.
Rob, your computer.
The what?
Your computer broke.
Oh, this computer broke. Mine's fine.
Okay.
But it's over in my office.
You said you go to work?
Yeah, go to slide 4. Elections, they've got a green sheet. This will tell you how the Electoral College works. And it'll actually show you the number of votes. Can y'all pull up that?
Yes.
How many votes does Alabama have?
Wait, which one?
Oh wait, it doesn't show that. Okay, well. Anybody know how many votes Alabama has? How do you know how many votes Alabama gets?
I don't know, it just showed a percentage.
Yep, based on population, but more exactly. More exactly.
Election.
Right. How many congressional districts does Alabama have?
Yeah.
Actually, if you want to know, go to www.politics1, like not the, don't spell it O-N-E, www.politics1.com. Click on Alabama, or if you're geographically challenged, just click on where it says Alabama. You can tell me how many congressional, how many votes they get in the Electoral College. Nine. They have 7 congressional districts, 2 senators. So 7 in the House, 9, or 7 in the House, 2 senators. That means 9 total votes. So Alabama gets 9 total votes. I checked. Last time I checked the polls, Trump is winning 52-38 in Alabama. Closer than usual, but Trump should win that state handily. How many are in Georgia?
16.
Is it 16? Are you sure it's not 17? Really?
16.
We only have 14 congressional districts? Okay. I'm just kidding. Somehow I thought we had 17. But yeah, 14 House districts. You sure about that? Are you looking at it?
You're pretty confident, 17.
I am. Why am I so confident? Wait, did they take a vote away from us because Georgia Bulldogs are struggling?
That would surprise me.
Did they give it to Florida?
So you got a second shot.
We played down in Jacksonville. Who gets that electric? How many does Florida have, by the way?
That's game.
29.
Damn, Florida beats us at everything. Yeah. Just wait till global warming. Then we got it.
There.
I know. Wait, Dr. Turris, global warming's a myth. Okay. Whatever. All I know is it was freaking 88 degrees when I was like trick-or-treating with my kids.
Just melted. Is it?
I used to remember trick-or-treating with like a sweater or a coat. Here I'm wearing a sweater. I just had to quit after we did those houses over there. I'm like, I don't care who the hell cares. I look like Ken Bone or not. I'm just taking this thing off. I'm about ready to pass out. Okay. Is the Electoral College bigger? We can check to see. Is it completely fair? All right, I need everybody who's like close to me. This is gonna be like my map of the United States. You're all down here. You are my Southerners. That row 3 and 4. Y'all are my Northerners. Sorry, folks. I know everybody here is a Southerner, but you're gonna look at a northern state. We're gonna see if there is the Electoral College really fair. Okay, so you're down here, so you're Florida. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to jot down your notes or look it up on your cell phone. You gotta figure out how many votes Florida has, and what is the population of Florida. Quentin, you got Georgia. Betsy, you got Alabama. Sorry, Simon, you got Mississippi. Good. John, you got Louisiana. And Brecken, you got, what do you want, Tennessee or Arkansas?
Arkansas.
Okay, Arkansas. All right, I need some northern states. So you've got New Jersey, Caitlin. Tyreek, you've got Pennsylvania.
What website we go to?
Oh, you go to the U.S. Census Bureau. That'll tell you what the population of your state is.
What
So first off, go to www.politics1.com. Get the electoral votes, and then tell me what your state population is. You got New Jersey. Tyreek, you got Pennsylvania.
No, give me
Jordan,
New York.
you've got New York. Wesley, you got Ohio. Sydney, you got Massachusetts. And since Harrison, I know you hated being northern, you get Live Free or Die, New Hampshire. Sound good? All right. We're going to see if this is fair. Now go to,
Search box there.
first off, figure out how many electoral votes you got, and then figure out what your population is based on, the Census Bureau.
What are we looking for?
So Electoral College under www.politics1.com. It'll tell you how many electoral votes New York has.
The last census was 2010, right?
That would be correct. Although, wait, don't go to the 2010 census. Go figure out what the census says today. Don't they have 2016 numbers?
They have a population estimate for 2015.
Sure, let's go with that. How does that sound, folks? 2015 population estimate? Let's go with 2015 numbers, right?
They said electoral college. Electoral votes.
Yeah, do the Electoral College for today. And I'll do Tennessee. Why is this not showing?
Just like,
I just Googled my state.
Ooh, quick facts, that's a good one.
yeah, I'm just going to Google. Politics 1.
All right. I've got Tennessee.
What state are you?
You got New York.
Yeah, I mean, looking for those Massachusetts gets. And their population.
You over there breaking shit?
I missed the.
Hampshire. Sydney, I give you Massachusetts.
You did.
You said, of course you did.
We're doing 2015, you said?
Yeah, 2015 population.
That's what we're supposed to be.
Okay. Wesley, did I give you Ohio? Good soccer states, Ohio. Okay, Jordan, you I didn't give you New York, you took me.
Yeah.
Oh, I wrote in Jordan instead of New York.
Nothing was given to us, so I had to take it.
All right, Chief Justice Marshall. All right, Tyreek, let's see, I gave you Pennsylvania, right? Isn't that right? Tyreek,
Yeah.
I gave you Pennsylvania. And Caitlin, I gave you New Jersey, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Population, quick fact is the size.
Votes. Well, I gave you Florida, right? Even though you have a Notre Dame. I should give you Indiana.
Population estimates for 2015. 19 million,
Oh.
35,000.
Need to get my email. I had no idea.
So when I get on my presentation,
The what? How's it going for y'all? Anybody here able to research that? Just like you all. Okay, everybody got their electoral college votes?
Nope.
Okay, remember, politics1.com, and then you can go down, like, click on New York at the bottom,
Okay.
or click on the states. I'll adjust it to it, so. Tennessee, and remember, it's number of districts plus 2 senators, so Tennessee's got 9 districts plus 2 senators, so Tennessee has 11 electoral votes. So make sure you get that right for yours. And y'all just did quick facts, right? You did quick facts. I should have had somebody do taxes. Now you guys are doing 2015 numbers, right?
Yeah.
So Tennessee has got 6,000,000. 5, 8, 6, 7. Okay. All right, so how many votes does Arkansas have? Electoral college.
6.
You have 6. Okay, Louisiana's got 8. Mississippi has 6. Alabama's got
9.
9. Georgia's got 16. So we double check that? So I was wrong about something? That makes sense. What you got for Florida? Just the votes, right? 29.
I did Texas too,
Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah, let's put Texas on.
38.
38. Man, when I was Texas, we made sure everybody knew about that one. All right, Harrison, what you got for New Hampshire? How many electoral votes? What?
4.
Just 4. Massachusetts?
11.
11. Ohio?
18.
18. New York?
29.
29. So New York, boy, I remember when New York was twice as much as Florida. Now it's like half, it's like half of New York got up and moved over to Florida. Pennsylvania? Got what?
20.
20. Wow, they shrank a little too. And New Jersey?
14.
14. Okay. Anybody want to do one more northern state? We got to do, let's see. What's a small one? What's me? How about Michigan? Who wants Michigan? Look up Michigan. Okay. Population of Arkansas.
2,978,204.
2,978,000, you said?
Yep. 204.
204. Okay, Louisiana, what you got?
4,670,724.
724. Okay, Mississippi.
What do you say?
2.9 million pretty much.
2.9? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Alabama, what you got?
4.8499.
4.9. Okay. All right, Georgia's got what?
10.9.
All right, what you got for Florida? 20 million? Is it 20 and something? What's the closest one? Like 20, 20? Is it 1 or 2? 1.6 million? Okay. All right, what's Texas got?
27,469,114.
Okay. All right, what's New Hampshire got for population?
1,330,608.
608. All right, Matt. Oh, 133,960. Oh, that's right. Okay. All right, Massachusetts.
6,794,422.
6.79 million. Oh, what was that? Okay, what's Ohio got?
11.5 million.
11.5. All right, New York.
19,795,791.
All right, Pennsylvania.
12.79.
Which one?
12.79.
Oh, 12.7. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, and New Jersey?
8.8 million.
All right. Anybody got Michigan? Oh, don't worry about Michigan. Okay, got another, all right. I need someone to look up South Dakota, Idaho, and Delaware. Or my wife used to call it while we lived there, Delaware. What's Idaho? They got 4? It's a 1,694,000. 54. So there are 1 million people in South Dakota?
That's Idaho.
Oh, Idaho, okay. Somebody got South Dakota? We got 3 electoral votes. How many, what's their population?
858,469.
469. And how about Delaware? Who's got Delaware's population?
It was like 935,000 people, and they have like 3 electoral votes.
Okay. All right. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to take a look at whether each person gets 1 person, 1 vote, basically, roughly, shall we say. So B2, all the ones you gave divided by C2. They gave all that e to the 6th power. You may know how to interpret those.
So you're just dividing population by the electoral votes?
Yeah. does everybody get one person, one vote? Y'all want to take a look? Because not all states get an equal number of votes. That makes sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me see if I can do this. Let me see if I can do this a little more fairly. Okay, so why don't we do it by population? So 6.58. So this will be in millions. 2.167. Do we have Texas, by the way?
Yeah. Population or what?
Florida's got 20, is it 27.4 million? Is that right? 3. Ohio's got 11.5, is that right? 19.79 million? 12.79. What's New Jersey, 8.8? Is that right? Okay. All right. Y'all want to check this out? You get to realize that not everyone's vote is counted equally. Y'all want to take a look at this?
Yeah, sure.
I'd love to pull this on up, trust me. But yeah, for every Tennessee, for every electoral vote per for a population like 6.58 million is 1.67. For South Dakota, it's 3.49. So every South Dakota resident gets almost twice as many votes as the person in Tennessee in the electoral college vote. So not all states are equal. Arkansas gets about two electoral votes, per million. Louisiana is 1.7. Mississippi is 2.86. Alabama is 1.85. Actually, Alabama gets more votes per population than Georgia does. 1.85 to 1.58. New Hampshire, 3.076 compared to Texas, 1.386. So like the number of electoral votes. Massachusetts gets 1.68, or 1.62, so a little less than Tennessee, but not by much. Yeah, the lowest, out of the entire survey, the state with the fewest votes, like per population, per person, per electoral college, is Texas, 1.386. Delaware is 3.2. So Delaware's like 2.5. Every Delaware resident gets 2.5 times as many votes as a person from Texas. Did y'all know that? I do this from time to time. It's kind of fun to see like how the numbers change somewhat. But no, not everyone gets an equal vote. I know what you're thinking. Wait, we all vote like popular vote, right? Will it be reflected in the popular vote? You are correct, it will be. But we don't choose our president by popular vote, do we? We don't. We do it by electoral college. And basically, the top, out of all the ones we looked at, the top 3 are South Dakota gets the most votes per person, followed by Delaware, New Hampshire, Mississippi, and Arkansas. They get the most votes per resident, electoral college votes. I mean, you gave me the numbers. Isn't that interesting? So what do you notice about that? What does that tell you? Is there a reason why some states get more vote per resident? Do I need to read the top 5 again, the worst 5? See if you can spot a pattern. The ones who get most votes per resident are South Dakota, Delaware, Idaho, Mississippi, and Arkansas. The ones who got the worst deal are Texas, Florida, New York, and Ohio. Followed shortly after by Georgia. What do you notice?
So the states with larger population have more districts, so they have more electoral votes, and there's more people, so there's, I don't know how to explain it. Along this line.
Well, you're kind of in the right neighborhood.
All
What's
that-
going on? What do we know about the 5 states in common that have the best deal and the 5 states that have the worst deal, the ones we looked at? Did y'all catch that again? Do you want me to read them again? The ones with the best deal, the top 5 are South Dakota, Idaho, Delaware, Arkansas, and Mississippi. The ones with the worst deal that we looked at are Texas, Florida, Georgia, New York, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. Yeah, big states. Now, why would that be the case? Yeah, there's actually more votes per resident in smaller states. Why is that the case? Is it completely by population? What way is it not completely by population? Remember, go back to your New Jersey plan, founding fathers. Remember, Virginia plan said votes will be determined by population. What did the New Jersey plan call for? Y'all remember this? Virginia plan was implemented for which branch of government? Or which part of a branch? Y'all remember this? Yeah, Virginia plan. How did they, what's the Virginia plan? How's it being used today? Did you say? The what? Y'all remember? How did they use the Virginia plan? Remember, Virginia said they wanted something that was going to benefit big states, right? How did they want the votes to be counted by? And how do we count population votes today? Which part of which branch of government does that? Where more, which one?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. It's the House of Representatives. Right? The more, and in fact, that's how they win and lose states. So like New York used to have like 30, 40 some odd seats, but as the population moved to North Carolina and Florida, New York shrank in the House of Representatives. Florida got bigger. Florida, I remember like a long time ago, they had 4 electoral votes because it was like swamp and they had no air conditioning. They had freaking mosquitoes that could carry off small children. But, yeah, okay. But nevertheless, as they've been air conditioning and Florida gets Disney and a lot of cool cities and they get some pro sports teams, people start moving to Florida, they get more votes in the House of Representatives. Where are all the votes equal? Where is each state equal? Just like a real basic question. The Senate, yep, that's the New Jersey plan. Because remember, New Jersey was small at the time. It's before they invented toxic waste dumps in industrial parks. Just kidding, New Jersey. Before they became an industry state, they were a small agriculture state. So they wanted all states to be equal. All states get, what's the minimum number of electoral votes a state can have? What's the smallest number? Based on that answer.
2.
Nope. You're close. 3. Why 3?
You gotta have
One
one district.
district.
You get at least one district. So like Delaware has 3 counties. They get 1 district. South Dakota is freaking huge. But they get one district. Montana used to have 2, but people moved out of Montana because it's freaking cold. Now they have 1 district. Montana is like, what, the 4th largest state? Isn't that right? There's like Alaska. Hey, how many does Alaska have? 3. Alaska, based on population, they only have 1. And the guy who's there is the same member of Congress when I was there, when in college. I knew because a buddy of mine, he was a different kind of Delta. We had independent fraternities. He interned for this guy, Congressman Don Young, and that guy's still there. Isn't that impressive? But yeah, he's been their member of Congress district all this time. So that argument that there is a small state bias, so now we're on slide 5. There's a small state bias, meaning that all states, you know, just to be fair, we give them at least 1 congressional district and 2 additional electoral college votes just for being a state. So they always have 3, regardless how small their population gets. I mean, if it gets even colder, Montana might have 100,000 residents, yet they'll still have 3 electoral votes no matter what. As long as you're a state, you get 3. And that's why there is a small state bias. It may not sound like much, but if you think about it, your average resident of South Dakota has 3 times as much influence in the electoral college than your resident of Texas. And that is the truth. All right, we'll get back to okay, what we'll do is, well, first off, we're going to take a look a little bit later to see if the Electoral College is fair. We've seen, today was all the elitist argument about how American elections are unfair. Now I'm going to tell you a different story about money. And I'm going to tell you a different story about the Electoral College. Just like I did with candidate A and candidate B, I gave you a strong argument. I just told you why the Electoral College is like worse than sin. Now I'm going to tell you why the Electoral College on Friday is a great idea. Sound good? Oh, great, John Williamson, good. He took off. Wait. I got an idea. Let's do this. Okay. All right. When you get that, everyone just like lie down like we've all just passed out.
I gotta do
Okay. Run out, Craig, for the rest of us. We gotta just like stay around. Stay really.
You can do it, that would make it even more crazy.
Just come back in and we'll all be quietly like laid out like it's like some horror film. Y'all wanna do it?
I'd rather just steal
Y'all
his
no
backpack.
fun.
Steal his
And then we all go to
backpack.
high school.
You can steal his backpack if it's like.
Yeah, still.
That's what we used to do in high school.
Still high school pretty much.
What's up? Will Thursday or Friday be good? I mean, you'll obviously be with the coordinating advisor, but do you want to stop by just to tell me like more about the major?
He like released the whole city.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. So do you want to meet, like, do you have a class at 1:40?
Yeah.
Okay, usually that's when I do my lunch. Why don't we meet then?
All right. Yeah, I just don't know what classes to do.
Sure. Oh yeah, I'll show you that. I'll pull up your form, we'll see what classes you had, and then which ones you can sign up for. Okay.
So 1:40 today?
Yeah, 1:40 today. I'll be down in the